I've put a little over 20 hours into SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide, and today I'm going to give you my review. Special thanks to THQ Nordic for providing me with an early copy of the game. As always, my thoughts on the game are my own and not influenced by any outside source. I'll try to avoid spoiling the game, but there may still be some spoilers. This is your warning in advance. Let's start with the story. Skip to the timestamp on the screen if you don't want to know what happens in the opening level. Mr. Krabs is having a half-off Krabby Patty celebration to bring in a ton of business. The Flying Dutchman tries to cut the line and is sent all the way to the back. After waiting forever, he's finally next and King Neptune shows up, skipping the line completely. This makes the Flying Dutchman angry and sets off a chain of events where Bikini Bottom is decimated and half of the town's fish are now ghosts. SpongeBob and Patrick set out to stop King Neptune and the Flying Dutchman from fighting and destroying the town even further. Now, it's been a little while since I've watched SpongeBob even with my kids, and I'm not caught up to anything going on in the show or the stories of the other SpongeBob games. That said, this game felt like it was ripped straight out of the show. All the same humor and jokes made me laugh at least a little bit. The entire original voice cast is here as well, which really brings that feeling of something done right. While there were no twists and turns, it was still an enjoyable story that had an ending of a classic episode where things aren't completely back to normal, but you know that it will be. If you've been watching the video up to this point and like what you hear, then consider subscribing to the channel. I have a goal of reaching 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and your help will be greatly appreciated. For the gameplay, it is a platformer with some light action when fighting enemies. I actually really liked this because it reminds me of old games like Jak and Daxter or Spyro. You play as both SpongeBob and Patrick and switch between them with the press of a button, and they each have specific uses. Patrick can pull things from far away, carry heavy objects, and burrow underground. SpongeBob can do a flying kick towards balloons and throw bubbles for puzzle solving. These abilities also tie into combat, which made me use Patrick a bit more since most of the enemies can be grabbed and thrown into other enemies. At some points, especially during challenges, you would have to string together a number of those moves and abilities between characters, but it wasn't ever really too complicated and more about timing than anything else. There are 5 different levels you can play on, not counting the intro level or the hub world, which never really felt too similar. Each one was unique and had its own new challenges that improved on the mechanics that were introduced in the previous levels. 4 of these levels also end in a boss fight, which I won't spoil in this video, but each of them made full use of the skills you had learned up to that point. If you're trying to 100% the game, it doesn't take a long time. As I said at the beginning of the video, I had put a little over 20 hours in and only have one thing left to unlock. Each level has a number of chests to open as well as some side quests to complete. All of these can be done in the level without needing other skills or items from later levels, with the exception of the Floating Patty Hub. Finding all of them can be tricky though, as it took me several hours to find the last few, only because they were in easy to miss spots if you weren't paying attention. The rewards for these chests and quests give you things like more health, additional photo mode filters, decorations for the Floating Patty, and costumes for SpongeBob and Patrick. There is one special reward which was one of the funniest things I've seen because it caught me off guard, and you'll have to discover that one for yourself. Another aspect was the plankton challenges. These were different courses that had you racing, fighting ghosts and bosses, or catching jellyfish to see how fast you could get them done. This was a fun little break from scouring the levels for chests, although you do need to find the chests to unlock these challenges. Now, as far as the replayability goes, there's not really anything there unless you want to start a new game. Once you unlock everything, there's nothing else to do except just run around. This is fine though, as the game is meant to be played like this. If you're not a fan of SpongeBob or don't like platformers, then this game definitely won't be for you. I give SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide a 9 out of 10 because of how much fun I had while playing the game, but the relatively quick 100% held it back a bit for me as I really wanted more. SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide releases tomorrow, November 18th on the Switch 2, PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. If you want to see more content, then make sure to like and subscribe, and check out my other socials linked in the description to not miss out on anything. Thanks for watching, see you next time.